I'm Jennifer Bell, and this is Finn, my unofficial therapy dog and pretend therapy client. This video is about IFS, or internal family systems therapy, and Sandtray therapy, and the ways that they go well together. Internal family systems therapy is about the different parts of ourselves and how they interact. And Sandtray therapy is a great way to externalize those parts and understand the relationships between them. There are two basic kinds of parts that we're going to talk about today. Exiles, which are young, vulnerable parts, and protectors, which are either trying to protect the young, vulnerable parts or are trying to protect the system from the young, vulnerable parts, in case they think that the exile's energy is going to overwhelm the system. This is our first exile. This exile is a part that felt abandoned when Finn's first family gave him up before we adopted him. And this protector is what we call a manager part that is proactively trying to keep this exile from being abandoned again. The thing about protector parts is that they are trying to help, and also they generally are not very good at it because they are not really equipped to do what they're trying to do. So I'm going to put this first exile into the Sandtray, right there. And the manager part is going to put a wall in front of the exile and then stand in front of the wall and try to keep anybody from getting to the exile. I'm going to assume that this manager part is proactively trying to keep Finn from being abandoned by sticking very close to his people, figuring that if he stays with his people all the time, they won't abandon him. Theoretically sounds good, but not necessarily effective if we wanted to abandon him, which of course we do not. This is the second exile, and this exile, possibly also afraid of being abandoned, but definitely very young, is being protected by this protector, which is a firefighter type of protector. Firefighters are reactive and can be kind of destructive. So, the way this firefighter is going to try to protect the exile is to dig a hole and bury the exile, and that way nobody will be able to get to it. Finn does enjoy digging holes in the ground at the dog park and at home, and this is definitely firefighter energy because he is being destructive and doing things that are not only are not helpful but are actively unhelpful. So, after having buried the exile, the firefighter puts barbed wire around and stands in front of the barbed wire to make sure that nobody will get to the exile and unbury it and potentially harm it. Which, is kind of ironic when you think about it, because the firefighter is burying the exile to keep it from harm, and presumably burying a part is not helpful. So this is a very basic introduction to these parts. In IFS therapy, we first get to know the protector parts. We help the client to get to know them and accept them and appreciate the hard work they've been trying to do. We listen to the protectors and what they've been trying to do. We let them tell us what they're afraid would happen if they didn't do their job. And then we help to make them comfortable enough to let us get to know the exiles and hopefully help them and heal them. And then we help the protectors to find either different jobs, which are helpful, or maybe less extreme versions of the jobs they were already doing. For instance, the manager that keeps Finn close to us doesn't have to not keep him close to us, but maybe doesn't need to be quite so committed to it that Finn has a hard time being away from us. Not really sure how the firefighter could make digging holes be not destructive and helpful, so that particular protector might need to find a completely different job. And part of it is that we want these protectors to find jobs that they do actually enjoy. So maybe that firefighter doesn't really like digging holes, certainly probably doesn't like the reactions to the holes being dug. So chances are that firefighter might want a different job. So this is a very basic overview of how IFS works and how the Sandtray is helpful for IFS work. If you'd like to know more about IFS and or Sandtray therapy, you can go to my website, jenniferbellpsychotherapy.com, and read more about Sandtray therapy and IFS. If you'd like to talk to me about it, you can either fill out a contact form, book a consultation, or call or text me at 410-888-0590. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.